I don't think Chloe actually hated me when she threw the drink. That would almost make more sense. Hatred is clean compared to resentment. Resentment spreads slowly. It mixes gratitude with embarrassment until neither person knows how to speak honestly anymore. I've tried to explain that to people since the wedding, but most of them only remember the dramatic part, the champagne, the white dress. The silence afterward, nobody remembers what came before it. Maybe that's why I'm writing this now. Not to send. Just to finally arrange the truth somewhere outside my own head. After Dad left, I became useful very quickly. I was 24 when I got my first major promotion at the consulting firm. Mom was already behind on medical bills by then, and Chloe had just started college out of state. Nobody asked me directly for help at first. I offered because that's what older daughters do when everyone else is drowning quietly. One payment became another, tuition installments, phone plans, groceries, emergency repairs. Over time, the family stopped treating the support like help and started treating it like infrastructure, something permanent. Like electricity, I don't think they meant to, but dependence changes the emotional temperature of a house, especially when pride stays alive underneath it. Chloe struggled with that more than Mom did. She was brilliant, emotional, impulsive. The kind of person who could make a room adore her in 5 minutes and exhaust it in 10. Sometimes she hugged me so hard I thought she genuinely loved me more than anyone else in the world. Sometimes she looked at me like I was the reason she felt small. The wedding brought all of it to the surface. Even during dress fittings, I could feel something tightening in her whenever relatives complimented me too much. "You always look like you have everything figured out," she said once while staring into a mirror. It didn't sound like admiration. The reception itself had been beautiful at first. Warm lights, jazz music, my husband Daniel looking at me with this calm expression that still makes me emotional when I think about it. Then came the speeches. Chloe drank too much during dinner. Everyone noticed but ignored it the way families ignore things they already know how to survive. When she stood up holding her champagne glass, I remember feeling nervous before she even spoke. "At least Olivia finally found somebody she can't manage with money," she said. A few people laughed uncertainly. My mother immediately whispered, "Chloe," but Chloe kept going, smiling in that dangerous way drunk people smile when they think honesty and cruelty are the same thing. "Here's to the family fraud in white." Then she tossed the drink. Not hard. Not cinematic. Just enough for cold champagne to hit the front of my dress while guests froze around us. I remember Daniel standing halfway out of his chair. I remember my aunt looking horrified. But what I remember most was my mother rushing toward Chloe first. "She didn't mean it," she kept saying. "She's emotional. She's embarrassed." Embarrassed, as if humiliation naturally belonged to the person causing the scene instead of the person standing inside it. I walked out before anyone could follow me. The bridal suite upstairs was empty except for curling irons and half-open makeup bags. I sat in front of the mirror, staring at my dress while sticky champagne dried against the fabric, and for the first time in years, something became very clear to me. I had spent so long preventing my family from falling apart that nobody noticed how tired I was becoming. I opened my banking app almost mechanically, short accounts, automatic tuition payments, household transfers, everything connected to me. I froze the account, not angrily. Honestly, I felt strangely calm. The next morning, my phone started ringing around 8:40. Mom, then Chloe, then Mom again. I answered on the fourth call while Daniel drove us toward the airport for our honeymoon. "She got dropped from enrollment," my mother shouted immediately. "The university says the payment failed." In the background, I could hear Chloe crying. I closed my eyes for a second. The account was frozen. "What do you mean frozen?" "It means I'm no longer paying for everything." Silence. Not emotional silence. Practical silence, the kind people fall into when reality rearranges itself faster than pride can adapt. Mom lowered her voice. "You would do this right after the wedding?" That question stayed with me for months afterward because of how perfectly it summarized everything. Not, "Are you okay after what happened?" Not, "Did we hurt you?" Only, "How could you interrupt the support system?" Chloe deferred this a semester. Mom eventually took a second job at a dental office. And me? I spent the first half of my honeymoon feeling guilty enough to ruin entire afternoons, because the truth nobody likes discussing is that boundaries hurt people sometimes. Even necessary ones. Months later, Chloe sent me a message around midnight, not a dramatic apology. Just, I think I was angry at needing you all the time. I'm sorry I ruined your wedding. I stared at it for a long time before responding. Eventually, I helped her re-enroll, but differently this time. Separate accounts, written expectations. No invisible rescue missions. I still love my family. That's the difficult part, but I no longer want to be loved primarily for how much pressure I can absorb without reacting. And maybe that was the real thing that ended at my wedding, not the relationship, just the silence around it.